Love doesn't always come with fireworks, confessions, or dramatic gestures straight out of a movie. More often, it arrives quietly, in the smallest details, in the unspoken moments, in the things he does when he thinks no one is paying attention. A man who is truly falling in love may not shout it from the rooftops. In fact, he may not even be ready to say the words out loud. But his heart betrays him in ways he can't control. His actions, his eyes, his choices, they all whisper. The truth his lips haven't yet spoken. Think about it. Anyone can say, "I like you." But what separates words from real feelings is consistency, effort, and the way he makes you feel even in the ordinary parts of life. If you're wondering whether the man in your life is quietly falling for you, the signs are there, hidden in plain sight. The way he pays attention to details no one else notices, the way he makes time even when he's busy, the way he listens, supports, and respects you. Those are the markers of a love that's real, steady, and growing stronger, day by day. And here's the beautiful part. When a man is falling in love, he doesn't always realize he's revealing it. His guard may be up, his words may be measured, but his behavior tells a story he can't hide. Love shows itself in subtle glances, in protective instincts, in quiet sacrifices. It's not about the grand gestures or the dramatic declarations. It's about the little things he does over and over again, the small moments that leave you wondering, does he feel the same way I do? This is why paying attention matters. Love doesn't always begin with a loud explosion. Sometimes it begins with a soft spark, a spark that grows every time he remembers something you said weeks ago, every time he checks in on you for no reason, every time he looks at you like you're the only one in the room. These aren't random habits, they're signs, and when you start connecting them, the picture becomes clear. In this video, we're going to uncover those quiet signals, the 15 undeniable signs that a man is falling in love with you, even if he hasn't admitted it yet. As you listen, think about your own story, your own moments, and see if you recognize these patterns. You may realize that love is already there, blooming softly in the background, waiting for the courage to be spoken out loud. Because at the end of the day, love is not just in what he says, it's in what he does when he thinks no one's noticing. And those little signs, they might just be his heart's way of telling you he's already yours. He remembers small details about you. When a man truly starts falling in love, it shows in the way he remembers the tiniest things you mention, even when you think he isn't paying attention. Maybe you casually told him once that your favorite chocolate is dark with almonds, and weeks later he surprises you with exactly that. Or perhaps you mentioned how you hate being cold at night, and suddenly he's making sure you always have an extra blanket or adjusting the room temperature, just for you. These gestures may seem small on the surface, but they carry a deep meaning. They show that he is not just hearing your words, he is holding them close, storing them like treasures because they matter to him simply because you matter to him. Most people forget fleeting conversations, but when a man remembers those little details, it's because he's invested. He's not doing it out of obligation or politeness. It's instinctive. Love sharpens his memory for you. Every preference, every random fact, every laugh you share, they become important pieces of the puzzle he's building in his heart. If you mentioned once that daisies make you smile, he'll notice them at a flower shop and instantly think of you. If you shared a story about a childhood memory, he'll bring it up later to make you smile again, proving he cherishes not just who you are now, but everything that shaped you. It's also his quiet way of showing care without dramatic declarations. Instead of saying "I love you" too soon, he lets his actions whisper it. Each remembered detail becomes a silent confession, a way of saying, "I see you, I hear you, I want to keep knowing you." That's why when he recalls those little things, it isn't just sweet. It's one of the clearest signs he's quietly falling in love. He makes time for you no matter how busy he is. When a man is quietly falling in love, his schedule starts to bend around you. No matter how packed his day is, he finds a way to carve out a moment for you. It doesn't always have to be hours of his time. Sometimes it's a quick call between meetings, a good morning text before his day begins, or showing up late at night just to see you for a few minutes. What matters is not the length of time, but the priority he places on making sure you feel valued and present in his world. A busy man has a million excuses not to show up. Work, responsibilities, fatigue, all valid reasons to avoid extra effort. But when his feelings are real, none of those obstacles stop him from choosing you. If you say you're having a rough day, he'll rearrange things just to check on you. If you casually mention wanting to grab coffee, he'll somehow make it happen even if it means sacrificing his break. Love shifts his focus, and suddenly, you're no longer an option in his life. You're part of the plan. These small sacrifices reveal a lot. Time is the one thing we can never get back, and when he chooses to give it to you, it's because he values you deeply. He's saying, without words, you are worth more than the comfort of rest or the demands of work. And the consistency of his effort matters most. Anyone can make time once, but when he does it over and over, even in the busiest seasons of his life, it's a quiet yet powerful proof that his heart is leaning toward you. He doesn't announce it, he doesn't brag about it, but every time he chooses you over convenience, he's silently telling you he's falling in love. He gets jealous but tries to hide it. Jealousy is one of those emotions that slips through the cracks even when someone tries hard to cover it up. When a man is quietly falling in love, you'll notice subtle signs of jealousy. Not loud, dramatic scenes, but quiet shifts in his energy when another guy has your attention. He might not say it outright, but the way his eyes linger, the way his tone changes slightly, or how he suddenly becomes extra attentive speaks volumes. It's not about control or possessiveness. It's about the fear of losing a place in your life that's starting to mean everything to him. Maybe you mention a male friend in conversation, and though he smiles and nods, you can see the quick flicker in his expression. Or maybe someone compliments you in public, and he responds with a protective joke or suddenly moves closer to you. These little behaviors reveal an internal battle. He doesn't want to come across as insecure, but his heart can't help but react. Love has a way of making people vulnerable, and jealousy is often the first crack in the armor he tries to wear. What makes it clear he's falling for you is not just the jealousy itself, but how he handles it. Instead of lashing out or trying to control you, he swallows it, channels it into caring for you, and works harder to be the one who makes you smile. His restraint shows respect, but his small slips, the quick questions, the way he perks up when you talk about another guy, the quiet sigh when he thinks you don't notice, reveal the depth of his feelings. Jealousy, when hidden, becomes a mirror of love he hasn't yet confessed. And every time he tries to hide it, he's really exposing just how much you mean to him. He listens to you more than he talks. When a man is quietly falling in love, one of the clearest signs is how he shifts the spotlight toward you by listening more than he speaks. Most people are eager to talk about themselves, to share their own stories, to fill silences with their voices. But when his feelings are deep, his focus changes. Suddenly, your words become more important than his own. He wants to hear every detail. Not just the big stories, but the little things you think no one cares about. To him, your random thoughts, your silly jokes, even your late-night rants matter, because they come from you. You'll notice it in the way he leans in when you talk, how he remembers your exact phrasing, or how he brings up things you said weeks ago. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't brush off your feelings. Instead, he gives space for your voice. That kind of listening is rare, and it isn't just polite attention. It's devotion in disguise. He's quietly building an understanding of who you are, storing your words like pieces of a puzzle, because to him, knowing you fully is part of loving you deeply. This behavior also shows in how he reacts. He doesn't just nod along. He asks follow-up questions, offers thoughtful responses, or adjusts his own actions based on what you've shared. If you once said you hate a certain food, he'll remember it when choosing a restaurant. If you talked about a stressful situation, he'll check in later to see how it went. That's the difference between hearing and truly listening. He takes your words and turns them into action. When he listens more than he talks, it's not because he has nothing to say. It's because he believes what you say matters more. And that quiet sacrifice of voice for understanding is one of the strongest signs his heart is falling for you. 5. He compliments you in subtle ways. When a man is quietly falling in love, his compliments often don't sound like rehearsed lines or flashy declarations. They slip out in subtle, almost unplanned ways. Instead of grand statements that anyone could say, his words are specific, personal, and tailored to you. He notices things most people overlook. The way your eyes light up when you talk about something you love, the effort you put into your work, or how you always manage to make people laugh at the right moment. These are not surface-level observations. They are glimpses into how carefully he sees you. Maybe he tells you that your voice is calming when you didn't even realize you were speaking softly. Maybe he points out how good you are at handling difficult situations, or how your kindness changes the mood of an entire room. These compliments are subtle because they're rooted in genuine admiration, not just attraction. They aren't about impressing you. They're about expressing the truth he can't help but notice. What makes it even more telling is the way he delivers them. He might say it casually, almost as if he didn't mean to reveal so much. A quiet, "You always make things better when you solve a small problem." A soft, "You look happy today," that carries more weight than 100 ordinary compliments. These words may seem small, but they leave an impact because they show he's paying attention on a deeper level. He doesn't just compliment your looks, he admires your mind, your spirit, your presence. And the fact that his words are understated makes them even more sincere. When he slips these little truths into conversation, it's not just kindness. It's his heart speaking in whispers, giving you pieces of how much you mean to him before he's ready to say the full thing out loud. He notices your moods. Instantly, when a man is quietly falling in love, it shows in how tuned in he becomes to your emotions. Even before you say a word, he can sense when something is off. Maybe your smile doesn't reach your eyes the way it usually does, or your voice carries a tone just slightly different than normal. He notices these small shifts instantly, sometimes even before you've fully recognized them yourself. That's because his focus on you isn't casual, it's constant, almost instinctive. He pays attention to the rhythm of who you are, so when that rhythm changes, he feels it. You'll see it in the way he pauses mid-conversation to ask, "Are you okay?" Or how he sends a quick message when you're unusually quiet. He doesn't need you to explain in detail. He can read your silence, your sighs, your distracted gaze. And instead of ignoring those signals, he responds with care, whether by offering comfort, giving you space, or simply staying present so you don't feel alone. What makes this sign powerful is that it goes beyond observation. He's not just noticing your moods, he's emotionally invested in them. Your happiness uplifts him, your sadness weighs on him, and your stress makes him want to lighten your load. This level of awareness isn't accidental. It's the natural reflex of someone whose heart is growing attached. Even in group settings, when others might not notice, he'll catch your subtle cues. A slight frown, a glance at your phone, or the way you withdraw for a moment. He sees it all, and in those moments, his concern shines through in small gestures, a reassuring look, a gentle question, or even just standing closer to you. That quiet sensitivity is love revealing itself without words. He values your opinion before making decisions. When a man is quietly falling in love, one of the clearest signs is how much weight he gives to your opinion before making decisions. It could be something small, like asking which shirt looks better on him, or something big, like seeking your thoughts on a career move or financial choice. Either way, it shows he doesn't just see you as someone in his life. He sees you as someone whose perspective matters deeply. Your voice begins to influence his path, and that's not something he offers lightly. This behavior reflects respect. He could easily make choices on his own, but instead he pauses and thinks, "What would she say about this?" That thought process alone reveals how much space you occupy in his mind. It means he trusts your judgment, admires your perspective, and wants to align his world with yours. He doesn't just want you to witness his life, he wants you to help shape it. You might notice it in casual moments. If you mention that a certain restaurant is overrated, he'll choose somewhere else next time without hesitation. If you share that you value honesty above all else, he'll start checking himself to live up to that standard. Your words echo in his actions, not because he's trying to impress you, but because he truly values what you think. This also shows his growing vision of a future with you. Seeking your opinion is his way of blending your lives, of seeing how your values and ideas fit into his own. And when he listens carefully, considers your advice, and acts on it, he's proving that your role in his life is not temporary. It's permanent in his heart. That quiet reliance on your voice is one of the strongest indicators he's falling in love. He finds excuses to spend time with you. When a man is quietly falling in love, he doesn't always say it out loud. Instead, he shows it by finding reasons to be around you, even when there's no real reason at all. Suddenly, errands or tasks that he could easily do alone somehow become things he wants to do with you. He might offer to help you carry groceries, volunteer to fix something in your place, or suggest grabbing coffee even when he doesn't really need one. These aren't coincidences. They're excuses, gentle ways of keeping himself close to you, without admitting the depth of his feelings just yet. It's in the way he lingers after conversations, not rushing to leave even when the moment is technically over. It's in the way he shows up at events he wouldn't normally care about, just because you'll be there. It's in those small invitations. Want to come with me? Or, I was just in the area, that reveal his quiet attempts to fold you into the fabric of his everyday life. He doesn't need grand dates or elaborate plans. What matters to him is the simple act of being near you. Sometimes the excuses are almost transparent. He might ask for your opinion on something trivial, like what shirt to wear or what movie to watch, just so he can start a conversation that leads to time together. Other times he'll suggest activities he knows you enjoy because your happiness gives him a reason to be present. What seems casual on the surface is, in truth, intentional. Every excuse is his heart pulling him toward you. When a man goes out of his way to create moments with you, it's never just about passing time. It's about weaving himself into your days, hoping that the little moments add up to something bigger. That persistence in finding ways to be with you is love, spoken softly through action. He shares personal things he doesn't tell others. When a man is quietly falling in love, his walls begin to come down in ways that don't happen with just anyone. He starts to share personal things he usually keeps tucked away, the kind of stories, fears, or memories that reveal the deeper layers of who he is. These aren't the light surface-level details he gives to everyone else. They're the private pieces of his life, the unpolished truths that show trust is slowly replacing his instinct to protect himself. Maybe he tells you about a childhood moment that shaped him, or admits a mistake he still regrets. Maybe he opens up about his insecurities, his family struggles, or even his dreams that he hasn't dared to say out loud before. These moments are sacred because men often guard their vulnerabilities carefully. If he lets you in, it's because he feels safe with you, because your presence makes honesty easier than silence. You'll notice the difference in how he talks to you compared to others. Around most people, he might keep it light or playful, but with you, the conversation drifts into things that matter. He doesn't just tell you what happened in his day, he tells you how it made him feel. He doesn't just mention his goals, he admits his fears about reaching them. Those raw confessions are his heart's way of saying, I trust you with who I really am. This openness is not accidental. It's an unspoken test of intimacy, a way of letting you see the man behind the image he shows the world. And when he shares these hidden parts of himself, it's not just because he likes talking. It's because he's quietly falling in love, and he wants you to know him in a way no one else does. 10. He supports your dreams and goals. When a man is quietly falling in love, one of the most powerful signs is how he supports your dreams and goals as if they are his own. It's not just about cheering from the sidelines. It's about actively standing beside you, making sure you feel capable, worthy, and encouraged every step of the way. He doesn't dismiss your ambitions as unrealistic, nor does he make you feel small for wanting more out of life. Instead, he sees your vision and adds his strength to it, because your success matters deeply to him. You'll notice it in the way he celebrates even your smallest wins. If you mention something you achieved at work or school, he lights up with genuine pride, sometimes more excited than you are. If you struggle or doubt yourself, he reminds you of your worth and reassures you that you can do it. His support shows not just in words but in actions. Maybe he helps you practice for a presentation, proofreads your work, or adjusts his own time so you have space to focus on your goals. What makes this sign so meaningful is that his support is selfless. He's not threatened by your growth, and he doesn't compete with you. Instead, he pushes you forward, even if it means you might someday surpass him. That's love in its purest form, wanting the best for someone without needing anything in return. In his eyes, your dreams are not just personal pursuits. They are pieces of a future he wants to share with you. Every time he encourages you, he's saying, "I believe in you. I believe in us." And when a man invests in your goals with such devotion, it's one of the clearest and most beautiful signs he's quietly falling in love. He looks at you when you're not watching. When a man is quietly falling in love, his eyes give him away long before his words do. One of the most tender signs is how he looks at you when you're not watching. It's in those unguarded moments, when you're talking to someone else, laughing at something silly, or simply lost in thought, that his gaze lingers. He studies your expressions, the way you move, the small quirks that make you uniquely you. To him, you're not just someone he likes being around. You're someone he can't help but admire, even in silence. This kind of look is different from casual glances. It's softer, more intentional, filled with quiet affection he may not yet have the courage to voice. You might catch him staring and see him quickly look away, pretending he wasn't. Or you might notice that, in a crowded room, his eyes find you again and again, as if you're the anchor keeping him steady. That pull is instinctive. When he's falling in love, you naturally become the center of his attention, whether he admits it or not. What makes it powerful is that he's not looking at you to evaluate your appearance. He's watching because he enjoys the simple act of observing you exist. He notices how you tuck your hair behind your ear, how your smile grows before you even laugh, how your hands move when you're excited. These little details become treasures to him, things he keeps stored in his memory because they make him feel closer to you. That silent gaze is love in its most vulnerable form. No words, no performance, just pure feeling shining through his eyes. And when a man looks at you like that, even when you're unaware, it's a sign his heart has already chosen you. He respects your boundaries. When a man is quietly falling in love, one of the most meaningful ways it shows is in how he respects your boundaries. Love without respect is shallow, but when his feelings run deep, he honors the lines you've drawn, emotionally, physically, and personally. If you say you're not comfortable with something, he doesn't push. If you need space, he gives it without guilt tripping you. His goal isn't to take more than you're ready to give. It's to build trust slowly, at your pace, because he values the connection more than his own impatience. You'll notice this in small, consistent actions. If you're not ready to talk about certain topics, he listens and waits until you're comfortable opening up. If you don't want to rush into physical closeness, he doesn't pressure you. Instead, he finds other ways to show affection, like thoughtful gestures, kind words, or simply being present. He understands that real intimacy isn't about crossing boundaries, it's about respecting them. This respect also reveals itself in how he treats your time and commitments. If you're busy, he won't demand attention or make you feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. Instead, he'll encourage you, showing that he cares about your life beyond his role in it. His patience isn't weakness, it's strength, because it proves he's not just chasing a moment. He's investing in something lasting. What makes this so powerful is that it comes from a place of love rather than obligation. He respects your choices because he admires you, because your comfort matters to him, and because he knows love built on pressure never lasts. When a man respects your boundaries without hesitation, it's a quiet but undeniable sign that his feelings are real, deep, and growing stronger every day. He introduces you to people who matter to him. When a man is quietly falling in love, he starts opening the doors of his world and letting you step inside. One of the clearest signs is when he introduces you to people who matter most to him. Friends, family, mentors, these are the circles he normally protects, the people who've witnessed his highs and lows. Allowing you into that space is his way of saying you're not just someone he enjoys spending time with. you're someone he wants to weave into the fabric of his life. It's more than a casual introduction. It's a gesture of trust and pride. He wants the people he cares about to know you, and just as importantly, he wants you to know them. In his eyes, your presence adds value to his world, and sharing that world is his way of showing how significant you've become. When he's falling in love, your relationship stops being private moments in isolation. It begins blending into his greater reality. You'll notice this in subtle ways. Maybe he casually invites you to a gathering with close friends, or maybe he mentions you to his family and then follows up with, "You should meet them." These moments may feel small, but they're layered with meaning. He doesn't bring just anyone into those circles, so if you're there, it's because he sees you as someone special. What makes this sign even more powerful is the vulnerability behind it. Introducing you to the people who matter most means exposing you to their opinions, their judgments, their role in his life. He wouldn't take that step unless he saw you as someone worth that risk. And when he smiles watching you fit in with his people, it's not just happiness, it's his heart silently admitting, "I want you here, permanently." He checks in on you often without reason. When a man is quietly falling in love, you'll notice he checks in on you often, even when there's no real reason to. It's not always about asking something important or making plans. Sometimes it's just a simple, "How's your day going?" or "Did you eat yet?" These little messages or calls may seem ordinary, but they're actually his way of staying close, of letting you know you're on his mind throughout the day. When his heart is invested, silence feels too far away, so he finds small ways to bridge that gap. What makes these check-ins meaningful is their consistency. He doesn't wait for you to reach out first, and he doesn't only text when he wants something. Instead, he initiates because he genuinely cares about how you're doing. If you mention being stressed, he'll follow up later to see if things got better. If you told him about an appointment, he'll remember and ask how it went. That attention isn't accidental. It's love showing itself in daily actions. Sometimes his check-ins are disguised as casual questions. "Did you watch that show yet?" Or, "How's the weather over there?" On the surface, they seem random, but underneath, they're his way of saying, "I miss you. I want to feel connected to you, even in the smallest ways." His effort to create constant touch points proves that you're not just a passing thought. You're someone he wants threaded into his routine. It's easy to overlook these small gestures, but they're powerful signs of emotional investment. A man who checks in without reason is a man who wants to be part of your everyday life, not just the big moments. And every time he reaches out, he's quietly reminding you that his heart is moving closer, even if he hasn't said the words yet. He makes future plans that include you. When a man is quietly falling in love, one of the strongest signs is when he starts making future plans that naturally include you. He doesn't present them as grand declarations or dramatic promises. Instead, they slip into conversations almost effortlessly. Maybe he mentions a concert happening in a few months and says, "We should go." Or he talks about a trip he wants to take someday and casually adds, "You'd love it there." These aren't just throwaway lines. They're glimpses into the way he already envisions you as part of his tomorrow. It's in the small things, too. When he says, "Next time we eat here, you have to try this dish," or "We should watch that movie together when it comes out," he's not just talking about today. He's anchoring you into his future. Even if the plans are simple, the meaning runs deep. He doesn't see you as temporary, he sees you as lasting. What makes this sign powerful is that it shows intention. Many people live in the present moment when dating casually, but when a man starts mapping you into his future, even in subtle ways, it means his feelings are already ahead of him. He's not just enjoying the time you share now. He's quietly building a vision where you continue to exist by his side.